There's a moment, the first time success finds you. Maybe it's the deal you closed, the applause you received, or the number that finally went up. It feels electric. You tell yourself you've earned it, that it's just motivation. But beneath that rush, something deeper awakens, a need to feel this again. You start to chase that feeling, not the purpose that once fueled you. What was once about creation becomes about confirmation. And without realizing it, you've taken the first dose of achievement, and it feels good. Too good. Success gives us dopamine, the brain's currency of reward. But dopamine doesn't care about meaning. It only cares about more. The brain whispers, do that again, and again. And soon, the pursuit of impact turns into the pursuit of stimulation. You refresh your analytics. You crave praise. You chase another win, not because you need it, but because silence feels unbearable. Each achievement releases a spark, short, thrilling, gone too soon. You tell yourself, just one more project, just one more milestone. But the rush fades faster each time. To feel alive, you push harder, working longer hours, saying yes to everything, refusing rest. You don't notice it yet, but your achievements have started using you. People congratulate you. They see success. They see discipline. But when the noise fades, the room feels empty again. The applause stops echoing. You start checking your phone, searching for something to fill the silence. You realize the external world has become your mirror. And without applause, you can't see yourself. When success becomes identity, validation becomes oxygen. We stop creating for meaning. We create to be seen. We measure worth by attention. And the silence between achievements becomes unbearable because it feels like fading away. But attention is not love. It's noise. And when the noise stops, you meet the quiet, and the quiet knows who you really are. At first, it's subtle. You forget small things. You wake up tired even after sleep. You snap at people you care about. Achievement addiction doesn't break you all at once. It erodes you quietly. And one morning, you realize, you dawn to remember the last time you felt joy that wasn't immeasured. You tell yourself you can stop any time. You call it momentum. But deep down, you know, stopping feels like dying. Because somewhere along the way, your worth and your output became the same thing. You are no longer chasing success. You are running from stillness. Then comes the whisper. Not loud, but constant. It says, you can't keep this up. You ignore it. You push harder. But the mind knows when it's done pretending. And burnout doesn't arrive with a crash. It arrives with a sigh. One day, you can't move. Not physically, mentally. You open your laptop and stare. Nothing feels meaningful. Everything you built feels heavy. You've climbed so high that you can't remember why you started. And in that silence, you finally hear the question you've been avoiding. If I'm not achieving, who am I? The addiction to achievement isn't about success. It's about fear. Fear of being ordinary. Fear of being unseen. Fear of stopping. But in the mirror, you realize achievement doesn't cure fear. It only hides it. Until the mask cracks and the truth steps out. So you stop, just for a day. You don't open the laptop. You don't check your messages. You don't plan the next thing. At first, it feels like withdrawal, silence pressing against your ears, the absence of validation echoing inside your head. But then, in that quiet, something begins to breathe again. Not the achiever, the human. The stillness isn't empty. It's full. Full of things you once ignored. The sound of your own thoughts, the rhythm of your breath, the faint pulse of life beyond productivity. You start noticing sunlight through the window, coffee cooling slowly, time stretching without demand. You remember that peace ISN to the absence of work. It has the absence of noise. When achievement becomes addiction, your inner voice gets drowned by applause. But in silence, it returns, quietly, like an old friend. It doesn't care how much you've achieved. It asks different questions. Are you fulfilled? Are you free? And for the first time, you realize success without inner peace is just noise wearing a medal. You begin to see success differently now, not as a peak to climb, but a state to live in, not measured by applause, but by alignment. True success feels quiet, grounded, almost invisible to others. It's not the noise that proves your worth. It's the peace that does. You're not the same person who started chasing achievements. Burnout left scars, but also wisdom. Now, you see your limits not as weakness, but as boundaries of being human. There is a certain beauty in accepting that you don't need to earn your right to rest. You already have it. Slowly, your work begins to mean something again. Not for recognition, not for applause, but because it feels aligned with who you are. Purpose returns, not as a sprint, but as a quiet pull forward. Now, each action is not for validation, but for expression. You start balancing effort with ease, drive with presence, discipline with compassion. The achiever in you doesn't disappear. It just learns to coexist with peace. And for the first time, success doesn't feel like running. It feels like breathing. You realize growth was never the point. Gratitude was. Gratitude for the process, the lessons, the pauses. Gratitude turns success from addiction into awareness. And awareness turns achievement into art. Freedom isn't doing whatever you want. It's not needing constant proof that you're enough. When you stop chasing validation, you start creating from truth. And that's when success finally loses its grip, because you've found something greater, peace in being. You look back at all the projects, the wins, the restless nights. They were never mistakes. They were mirrors. Mirrors showing who you thought you had to be and who you truly are. Achievement was never the goal. Awareness was. And now, you finally understand? Freedom doesn't come after success. Freedom is success.